So, this is for class 10 biology, and today we are going to learn about the circulatory system. So, this is about the circulation and how the blood are circulated in the body, and this all is related with the system is there, that is known as the circulatory system. So, first of all, let us see here what are the different organs which are involved in the circulation. Now, if you see the circulatory system, then it is the heart, number 1, it is the heart, one of the organ, and there is here the blood vessels, Now, this heart and the blood vessels, these are the most important organs where the circulation of the blood take place in the human body. Now, first of all, let us see the structure of the heart, and then we will learn about the how the blood flows in the human body. So, heart. If you see the structure of the human heart, then the human heart have 4 chamber. Human heart is 4 chamber. The 4 chamber heart is there. So, what are these chamber? Let us see here. You can see these are the chambers. These are the chambers where the blood flows. This 2, it is your upper chamber, and this 2 is the lower chamber. And this side, you can see this is the left side. This becomes the right. Now, this becomes left, and this becomes right. So, this 2 upper chamber is known as your, atrium. These are known as the atrium. We can say atrium or we can say atria also. So, these are the upper chamber. We can say this is the left atrium and this is the right atrium. And these 2 lower chamber, this is known as the ventricle. This is left ventricle and this is the right ventricles. So, there are total 4 chamber. So, human heart is a 4 chambered heart. Now, you can see there is a partition is also there. This all the chamber, you can say this all this chamber, and they are separated, and the separation is out here. So, this is the main structure. Now, human heart, another structure, if you see the human heart, it is made up of muscles, and the muscle it is known as your cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscles. Human heart is made up of cardiac muscles. This muscle is a involuntary muscle. This is involuntary. Involuntary means the muscles which is not under our control. We cannot control the movement of the heart. That is why these muscles, the cardiac muscle, it is known as the involuntary muscles. Continuously throughout our life, this heart is working, and that is why this heart cannot be controlled with our will. So, that is why it is known as the involuntary muscle. Then number 1, it has a 4 chamber, then it is made of the cardiac muscles, and the heart, it is the outer covering of the heart is also there, and the outer covering of the heart is known as a pericardium. This is the outer covering of the heart. Pericardium, it is the outer covering of the heart. So, these are the simple structure. Now, the function, what is the main function of the heart? The main function of the human heart is to pump the blood. They pump the blood to the body, main function. That is why the heart is a pumping organ. We can say that the heart is a pumping organ. Why? Because they pump the blood. They pump the blood, and the blood goes to the different part of our body, to the each and every cells of our body. That is why it is a pumping organs. So, these are the simple structures of the human heart. Now, Again I will say the heart, human heart is a 4-chamber heart. It is made up of the cardiac muscles, and the cardiac muscle is the involuntary muscle, and the outer covering is also present here, that outer covering which protect the heart, that is known as the pericardium, and the main function of the heart is to pump the blood, and the blood goes to different part of the body. So these are the main functions. Now the next here is we will learn here the working of the human heart. Let us see here the workings. Now the working of heart. Working of heart. Suppose again this is a human heart. Human heart, this is the partition. Now this is your left atrium, this is your right, this is your left ventricle, this is your right ventricle. Now what happens here in the heart, from the body, the blood they enter. How they enter, let us see. Now this is the vein. This is known as your inferior vena cava. This is the inferior vena cava. This inferior vena cava, they brings the blood from the body to the heart. You have to remember, this inferior vena cava, they brings the blood from the body, from the lower part of the body towards the heart. Now where they are bringing? They bring the blood into the here the right atrium. This is the right atrium. Now you can see here, this part is your right atrium, this, and from the upper part also, from the head region, especially from the head region also, there is the another the vena cava. This is known as your superior vena cava. This is your superior vena cava and this is your inferior vena cava. Inferior vena cava, they brings the blood from the lower part, and the superior vena cava, they brings the blood from the upper region. The upper portion means from the head. So and the blood enters. Now the blood is entering into the here right atrium. Now this is the how they from the body. Now what type of the blood? What type of blood they bring? They bring the deoxygenated blood, CO2. Here the blood which contains carbon dioxide. The blood which contains carbon dioxide. So this is their CO2 I am writing here. So this is the blood flowing which contains carbon dioxide. From the body, deoxygenated blood, now they come towards the right atrium, from the head region also and from the lower part of the body also. Now what happens here, the next step, when the blood now enter here, then the right atriums first they expand, they are in relaxed position, and when the blood comes here, then the right atrium they expand and they contract, contraction take place. After contraction, now the blood from the right atrium, now they flow towards the right ventricle. Now this is the ventricle, and the blood now they enter into the right ventricle. This is the right ventricle, and after contraction only, when the right atrium contract, then only the blood from the right atrium, now they flow towards the right ventricle, that is a lower chamber. So now the blood is now present here in the right ventricle. Now again this right ventricle they contract, and after contraction again they contract. I will write here contract. Then after contraction, the blood from this right ventricle, now it will now flow, the blood will flow towards the lungs. Now, this is how the blood flows. All the blood now they move towards the lungs, and this artery, this blood vessel, it is known as a pulmonary artery. This is known as a pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery, they take the blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. Now, here the deoxygenated blood now they reaches the lungs. Now, this is the one type of the circulations. Again, I will explain here. This is a little bit complicated, so you have to understand in a better way. Now, first of all, from the lower part of the body and from the upper part, from the head regions, now the deoxygenated blood now first they come towards the right atrium, and when the right atrium contract, the blood now flow towards the right ventricle. There is a valve, a small valve is there, the door like structure is present here. They open and they close, they open and they closes when the blood flows. When the blood flows, when this right atrium contract, the valve they open and the blood they flow towards the right ventricle. And from the right ventricles, when it contract, then the blood is taken by the pulmonary artery towards the lungs. So, this is the one circulation, it is completed. From the body towards the heart, it is coming like this. Now, another circulation is also there. What happens now from the lungs? From the lungs, the oxygenated blood, this is known as your pulmonary vein. This is now pulmonary vein, and this pulmonary vein they carry oxygenated blood. I will write here O2. O2 means the blood which carry the oxygen. This is known as oxygenated blood. Now, so this is here. Now, this is here the oxygenated blood, and this oxygenated blood now they reach the left atrium, and the left atrium now they again contract. They contract. After the contraction of the left atrium, again the blood now they flow towards the left ventricle down here, and again the left ventricle again they expand and contract, and then only blood will now taken by the largest artery, that is known as your aorta, A-O-R-T-A, aorta. Aorta is the largest artery in the human body. So, this is here the largest artery which take the blood from the heart to the body. I write here body. Now, you can see how the circulation is taking place. Again, I will explain this one. This is the circulation, and from the lungs pulmonary vein they brings the oxygenated blood towards the left atrium, and when the left atrium they contract, now the blood they flow towards the left ventricle down here. Again, when this left ventricle they contract, they expand and they contract, now the blood now they are pumped towards the body, and it is taken by the largest artery, that is known as the aorta. So, in this working of the human heart, you can see here from the body the blood is now coming towards the heart, and again here from the heart the blood is going towards the body. That is why in a one cycle, if you see here, the blood is flowing twice, coming towards the heart, and from the heart the blood is now flowing towards the body twice. That is why this circulation is known as the double circulation also. Now, you can see here the structure. You can see the first of all, the first main thing you have to understand is here the how from the body the deoxygenated blood is coming towards the heart, and from the you can see lungs how the oxygenated blood they are coming towards the your heart. So, that is the most important part. So, this is the how the heart works. Now, related with this topic. Now I'll give you some questions which you have to solve at your home. So this is your homework questions. Question number 1 is, with the help of diagram, explain the working of human heart. Explain the working of human heart. So you have to draw the diagram here. Then question number 2 is here. What is double circulation? Question number 2, the structure of human heart. And question number 4, write the function of human heart. So these are the 4 questions which you have to solve at your home. So today this much only.